Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It's your girl Candace, and this is my sexy husband Ramon. And y'all are tuned in to the Couples Lounge show where we do this every Saturday. Why am I doing the introduction instead of playing the introduction? I don't know, y'all. I don't do well with uh I don't know. I like to switch it up a little bit. But I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna let this audio play on its own. We'll be back. You are now tuned in to the Couples Lounge show.
It's live, it's real, it's entertaining.
That morning show telling you what somebody should have told you about love, marriage, and relationships. Ain't nobody doing it like us.
Because they ain't us.
New episodes every Saturday, giving you something to talk about. All right, now we back. So we're going to do a few introductions before we bring Delvin and Kim on. They are our special guests on today with that unconventional type of love is what we're going to be talking about on today. So y'all get ready, go get your boo thing and tell them to come watch the show with you on today, or tell her to come watch the show with you on today. So, y'all, we apologize. I apologize for last Saturday, us not getting on. My body said, stop. Lay it down. And y'all, I had to get some rest. I was, I just wanted to listen to my body. I didn't want my body to make me shut down or stop. And so last Thursday, we did the National Couples Day event. We went bowling. It started off so well. The couples were loving on each other. Go, baby. Yeah, baby. Good job, baby. Because it was the couples against the couples. And then it became husbands against wives. And that's when the turn up happened. So congratulations to the husbands. They won. All the women, I hope you all are following through on your bet that you agreed to, because we're gonna run that back again. And if you didn't follow through now, how you gonna make him follow through? What you doing this for?
Run it back for what?
Because that's what we're gonna do. So in September, we're gonna come again. Now, if we see anybody coming into the building with bags, they own balls, they own shoes, that let us know you a professional. And so we're gonna have to adjust that one-on-one. We're gonna have to adjust.
No, we ain't gotta adjust.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
You can't be being a professional. That's like Jordan coming and playing with Lil Mun.
But hey, the woman, you had a professional woman bowler in there.
Who?
Gabe's mama. What's her name? She did. She a professional.
I don't think they professionals.
Man, please. She almost voted 200.
All right, so we're going to come out and have a good time. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, TD. Good morning, Danielle. Hey. So we're going to get it crack-a-lacking. For those of you that are just tuned in, again, we are the Tucks, Ramon and Candace. We're life coaches. We're podcasters. We're speakers. We do that thing for the marriage ministry. So I'm going to welcome in our guests, Kim and Delvin. Davis.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on? So y'all, they got this unconventional type of love. So that's what we're about to talk about on today, y'all. And like, y'all just reading their bio a little bit. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how they're unconventional. They met on Facebook. They met in a Facebook group.
You know I was going to tell them. I told you I was going to tell them.
Yeah, that's what they met. And they met in 2014. So they have been together 8 years and been married almost 4 in December. So over 3.5 years, been married. Kim initiated the connection, which is a little different. Normally, the men do, but I too, Kim. Devin, you saying no, she didn't?
Yeah, she did. She did. I mean, yeah, she did. I'm gonna give it to her. She did.
Okay. I did too. They have a 7-year age difference as well. So they got together at 33 and 40. So I would say that as Bud says like the older that we are single, he feels like it's a little bit more challenging when you become one. So I'm glad that y'all are on, because I think a lot of more people are getting married in their 30s, in their 40s versus their 20s. I won't say a lot. I know that it's common. Let me say
Right.
that. I know it's common to do that.
Yeah.
So uh Kim, I want y'all both to share, how do y'all think y'all previous relationships prepared y'all for each other? And Kim, I know that you were engaged, you went to premarital. So can you share just a little bit of that premarital story? I love when she shared this because it is so funny to me.
Well,
Uh yeah.
I was my ex. It was kind of, it wasn't a good relationship anyway. But he, well, I just moved to Texas when I met him, so first person I was in a relationship with. So long story short, we decided, I was like, all right, the last ditch effort, we're gonna go to counseling, premarital counseling, and see if we really can do this. And got in there, and we was honest. First question asked, can you be happy with this person if they never change? Neither one of us said yes. Well, he wanted to change everything about me. So, and I wanted him to change, not trying to change everything about me. So that didn't work out. So as we went on, I think one day we was at the Potter's house under Pastor Robinson getting counseling. One day he didn't even show up. So his secretary called him and he was like, "They still showing up? What are they showing up for?"
Oh, the pastor didn't show up.
He didn't show up. He was like, because like I guess our previous sessions had been so fruitless that he just couldn't understand. He kept saying he don't even know why we was together. So finally, that he came for a last session, and just that's when he patted us on the back and told us we should just be friends. And he showed us our compatibility books, and we did not have the only thing we did have in common was believing in Jesus. So
Mm,
we didn't have anything else in common, and I knew that because we argued all the time. We didn't agree on anything. So, but he was just, I don't know. He's one of them ones that just we're gonna make it work. So,
mm,
but
mm.
and then that was it. Then afterwards, the pastor had a little session with me afterwards just to make sure that I actually listened to him and got out of that. So,
Okay. And
but
I
that taught me about the importance of compatibility because I think that's what works with us. It's just we the same kind of crazy. So,
And see, I love that, and I
Yeah.
wanted to highlight that because so many people don't do the premarital, and like
Right.
you said, like the other dude is like, "Oh, we'll just make it work." And it's some married people that's like that, like, "Oh, we'll just make this work," and don't want to get the support they need, and then you put yourself through this long suffering for no reason. And
yeah.
so I wanted you all to really, I wanted you to talk about that, to understand y'all the importance of premarital. It was good to do that instead of walking into that marriage and being unhappy and then feeling like that covenant, you don't want to break that covenant, so you just suffer. So Devin, I know you've had other women prior to Kim. How do you feel like those relationships prepared you for your marriage with her?
Uh, honestly, they didn't. They
Mm,
didn't. I mean, it was a whole different type of personality of a woman. I mean, before it was more or less, who I was with, they would bend to like my will. And I don't know, I don't mean to say it bad like that, but it was more like they did. Dang, it sound bad. They did what I asked. Let me say not what I
okay.
said, but they did what I asked. But like with her, man, I mean, it wasn't like that. I mean, she was too strong willed. I couldn't break her. Not that I was trying to break her or nothing. I hate to
Mhm.
use that word too. You
That's just
know,
how we talk.
that's
That's the
just
whole
how.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and y'all don't have to keep making them
That's how
corrections.
you
Y'all already
Right.
done said y'all
Right.
unconventional. You
yeah.
ain't got to
So
keep making corrections.
I mean, and like the more I knew her and combative that she got with me, I liked it. It was more. It was like me her personality is like me, but she don't have like some of my same traits that are missing, which are good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I mean, I think, you know, you heard of that yin and that yang. I
Yep.
think that's like how we are. You know what I mean? But I mean, I've learned way more from her than previous before. You know, as far as just, you know, how to forgive, how to forget. You know, those are big things. And not being like jealous. We the a couple that's far on the left side of jealousy. It's not even, you know, it's not even funny. We can talk about our exes every day and have fun, you know, just bantering back and forth. So I mean, this is like, you know, a relationship that I like, and it was, you know, it's far different from anything else.
Right. Right. Man, I personally know Delvin. We went to Jarvis Christian College, better known as what is known as Jarvis Christian University
University.
nowadays. Let me big out to JCC. We've been cool for quite a while, and I've actually been to his home, been to their home, watched the games. And when I tell you, they come across as homeboy, homegirl. I mean, like,
We
you
get
know what
that
I'm
all the
saying?
time.
Like,
Yep.
they really do. And this is not me saying that because y'all here. That's the guy's honest truth. Yeah, you can see the connection and the vibe, the bond that y'all have when you among you two. So I commend y'all for that. For real.
Thank you, big bro.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
And I just reading over that's like that right there, the friendship.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
right
it's
there
really
is
good.
what can sustain a
Yes.
couple when
Yeah.
things get difficult and challenging. That friendship and that bond that you all have with each other, and I can really see in reading y'all bio, y'all had to forge that friendship very quickly.
Mhm.
Um, because of what you all went through, and maybe what you went through allowed you to create that forward. So yeah, I want to just and kind of even share with Mun, like their first 6 months into your relationship, y'all wasn't even married. There was a loss, so they've experienced grief. They've experienced where it was kind of difficult to allow him to lead after she has been doing it on her own so long in her adult
I
life,
want.
and then they also had outside interferences. So y'all grief came about through the passing of one of the children's mothers, losing a parent, Kim losing her father, Devin losing his mother. How did y'all support each other when you both are dealing with it and trying to overcome it and move through it?
Right. Good question.
You know what? It's good you asked that question because I wind up talking about that a lot, like with some of my friends. You know, when we get in deep with it. Um, I doing that was 2015. My youngest daughter Reagan, her mom passed away. You know, and during that time, it was real hard for me because I still had love for her and everything, and it showed in my morning. You
Hmm.
know, and keep in mind, you know, we had just got together, and she didn't have to stay at
Hmm.
all, and I wouldn't have blamed her. You know what I'm saying? But afterwards, it was like, you know, the love she showed my daughter, the support she gave me through all of this. She helped me through it because it was real hard, even like, you know, with her, with my exes, with her family and everything. I mean, she was literally right there, you know, and I don't know honestly too many other women that'll stay with a man who was still mourning like I was over over my ex. It was just I was just sad because I still loved her and everything. And we didn't really know where we were just having a good time together. You know what I mean? And I mean it was really I think it was probably after that when stuff was like solidified where we was more like, okay, yeah, this is, we fit to see what we gonna do, see how this gonna work out. But that was a big testament to her character, just to not leave me and my little girl just out. Because
Yeah,
like I said,
that was grown woman type of understanding and love. Like you said, y'all was just 6 months in, and
If that.
most
And my
women would have
father
been like,
too.
"Oh, so you still
Yep.
got feelings for her?" This and someone who has transitioned to go on to glory and to put a man through that
Right.
in his morning state
Right.
instead of being understanding. So Kim, that was big, y'all. And let me tell you what else she did. She sold her home
Oh
in
yeah.
Dallas,
You told me
moved to
that.
Fort Worth
Mm.
so she could be a stay-at-home mother
I told her to do that.
for
Hey,
his
baby.
daughter. Mind you, they were not married.
Right. Come on now.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Kim,
Don't
talk to
do
us about that decision.
Right.
Well, it kind of wasn't as hard as it was by that time. I don't know. It just seemed right. Like for some reason, I feel like me and him started off as a team from the beginning. Like
Mm,
we never was selfish with money. We from the time we met, we put our money together. We just was a team, and so we was built a friendship. So, and I honestly, yeah, when I first told him, the day his daughter's mother passed, I said, I'm gonna be here for you and Reagan. And that was before we knew she actually passed, So it was
mm,
the mate, iffy thing. But
that.
Right.
once she did, I'm like, okay, I do care about him a lot. We get along, and I just couldn't see any reason why not. It just seemed like the right thing to do, and it felt right. And it was easy transition. My daughter grew to love him as her dad. So, um, and Reagan, she's my baby. So, she's my baby, and it's crazy because usually when I would meet a man who had a child who had younger kids than mine, I wouldn't want to date him. Like that was the complete opposite of what I was looking for
mm.
in life. But just some reason when he said he had a 2-year old, but she hadn't turned 3 yet, she
I
was
told her I was a package deal. You gotta take me and my baby. I was a package
not
deal.
in the beginning because the mom was still there.
Yeah.
But but I knew, but I've been raising kids. I had my daughter, when I was 18. So I've been raising kids my whole adult life. So raising children, it just was, especially girls. I have daughters, so it was just all right. I got another baby girl to come up. So
And
and
I don't like as you was just sitting here talking, it's like you saw the human side of things. Like you didn't let petty get in the way. You, if nothing else, saw Devin as a man that was gonna need support with his daughter.
yeah,
Simple.
I needed
Even
it.
if we
I
don't,
never
even
needed
if
it.
and you have he had 3 kids when they met you all, and she had 2. And what I hear is like, I just want to see you win regardless. Like you didn't know where this relationship was gonna go, but
yep,
I'm in your life right now at this present moment, and I'm willing to support you. I'm willing to help you. You
Mhm.
yep,
know, and if so many of us can get to that level and not be where it's all about me. Oh, child, like I want to see you win. And
Yep.
yep,
if
Yep.
I make this move to Fort Worth and we don't work out, I was in your life for a reason at the time I was there. And okay.
yep.
And okay. S-
And
Was there
it's turned
ever
out
a
to be
time
right.
in the Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And I said it turned out to be the right decision. So,
Absolutely. She
Absolutely.
got her man.
hey,
Was there ever a time in the relationship where the age difference came into play in a negative way, or
In a challenging way.
yeah, a challenging way, or is it was never an issue?
No,
no, I
no.
never really dated older men, so my man was always younger than me.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, so
Well, no, wait. I had to kind of get him off the Jarvis yard in the beginning when we first met. I had to kind of pull him off the yard, like
Right,
you
right.
worrying about what these people think and stuff, you got to come out and stuff. But evidently he was ready to mature because I didn't really have to do anything. I just started watching, and I'm like, okay, okay,
yeah, I had to mature during this 7, 8 years, which I can track the progress,
yeah,
but it's something I'm proud of. It's something I'm proud of.
yeah.
Oh, really
So
good.
I feel
Okay.
like he's probably different than what people really might think he is because of what he used to be.
Okay.
But the
So it was never it was never well, talk to us about how it was when you were saying letting him lead, because Mon say this all the time, like when you've been by yourself and you've been doing it to let somebody come in, and now the
Right.
whole dynamic of I got, and she's already said that she's a believer, so she believes in the order
Right.
that God destined for marriage, so she knew she had to let him lead. What you about to say?
Yeah, I feel like this. The older we get and the longer we're single as we're older,
Mhm.
it's harder to mesh someone in. I'm 30, 40 years old, 35, and I've been single for a long time. Now I gotta let this man, this woman in. I feel it's more difficult to do at an older age than it is at a younger
It
age.
So
was, it was with him. It was with him. I have to now.
Okay.
That's something I have to break her from.
Well, it started.
so
Well,
talk to the people, y'all. Let's free some people this morning.
I've been running my house my whole adult life. Even if I was in relationships, I had a tendency like to be building around my man
Mhm.
because so I that's just how I was. And so I remember me and him, I think it was we first got together. Like I said, I wasn't working. We had, it was really tough times at
We didn't
first.
tell y'all that either. She lost her job. Was it your first year of marriage?
First 3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first three
as soon
months.
as we really met. So he had,
Okay.
yeah. So and I had never just ever trusted anyone with just completely taking care of me, you
She
know.
Mm-hmm.
told me that too.
And so I couldn't help but to always be coming up with a plan. So I sat down one day and I had the plan all wrote out and I just ran it all down to him like, we can do this, this, this. He looked at me, he said, we ain't doing none of
Yeah,
that.
do none
And
of
I
that.
was
I
like,
got
what?
this.
This is great, And he was like, we ain't doing none of that. This is what we doing. So I had to get used to that because I would always, it would be some things I would just be doing, just naturally working hard. And he'd be sitting there looking at me and then he'd be like, oh, but I already did this. So it's just, I finally, I had to get used to that, to just saying, okay, and now I'm used to it.
Yeah,
I
now
now,
she don't know how much the bills is. She can't
no.
tell you how much the
Mm.
electricity bill was last month.
No, so
Okay.
but that's what I asked for. I've been asking God for that, and so when I got it, it took a
Man,
minute to trust
do
it
y'all
though.
know within our first meet, I had known this woman for 15 minutes. You know, one of the
He's
first things,
exaggerating.
I'm not lying. Okay, 20.
Okay.
Okay, one of the first things she told me was she looked me up and said, I worked at Microsoft when we first met.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
that's why I picked
yeah, she said that's why she picked me. So she looked at me and
him.
said, yeah, you gonna put me on your insurance. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get that insurance.
yeah. We get married
I
and we
was
get that
like,
insurance. You have what you say. So I believe in the power of the tongue, and
yeah, now she got it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
now she on that insurance.
yeah,
yep,
so I had
Oh,
I
to.
love it. Kim, you said something in speaking that you didn't trust anyone taking care of you. And
hmm
in a marriage, definitely as a wife, but both, that that lack of trust can build up and cause walls in us. And like I said, it comes from outside of the marriage, stuff that we bring into it.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
hmm Yeah. Because I
When it
couldn't
comes
trust it in
to
previous relationships. In previously, I couldn't trust it. I really, I knew I couldn't. So that's why I was comfortable. That's why I'd never been married before, because I was not going to marry anybody that I wasn't comfortable with taking care of me. So
So was that lack of trust because of men, or was that lack of trust because of growing up family stuff?
a little bit of both. A little bit of both, because I had one of those fathers that I loved him. He's my man for 20 grand. I miss him to death, but as far as taking care of me, that's not something that I could say I could count on. So
Okay.
that has always been a thing where I felt
Hmm.
like, and then my mother's very strong, and she takes, I've never seen her, like my mother made single parenthood look so easy. Like we never struggled.
Hmm.
And so I just was used to seeing that.
Yeah.
And so I was used to being that.
Mm.
Okay.
I could
Mhm.
figure it out. Like you said, I had a house and stuff when I met him. And then, even with losing my job, if I'd have stayed in my house, I feel like I know I'd have worked it out. But
Mhm.
Good.
so it was very hard to actually, even now, sometimes, like we was talking about, me not looking at the bills. One of the reasons is if it's real high, I start going into panic mode.
Mm.
So,
Oh, I hate that.
and,
Yeah.
yeah, I start going into panic mode, and he'd be like, "Don't let me get. What are you talking about?" And so but that's it's just something in me because that's how I'm used to. I'm just used to always being in mode where I had to get things together for me and my girls. Like I tell people, I didn't blow money and stuff. I would be always playing for classes, trying to go to school, always doing something, always trying to have a plan, and so. It was so, but it's good to
She
have
good at
somebody
that.
with a plan.
She good at that. That's part of our yin and yang. Cause now that's I hate that about her. I try to change this about her because she tight with money. She tight. I can't stand that, man. See, I didn't grow up like that. I grew up with a mama who, I grew up with a stepdad who handled. I guess that's what I model myself after. Of now that I think
Yeah.
about it, he paid all the bills. We didn't have to worry about nothing. My mama, all she did was pay her car note and shop. She didn't have to do nothing. She didn't know how to pay bills to the day she died. And so I guess that's how I am, as far I pay all the bills, but at the same time, I ain't cheap like her. I splurge in a minute, but yeah, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We can't do. I'm like, we get paid every 2 weeks.
But that's not the point.
I mean, we have secure jobs. We got a little bit of savings. We gonna be okay. See, you see what I'm saying? It's
But it is so beautiful to see because
Right.
that is, like you said, Delvin, that yin and
right.
yang where y'all can balance each other. Because sometimes you're gonna need that more discipline, and sometimes you got to just
Oh
have a
And
little
yeah.
fun and be like,
I'm glad you didn't touch your money.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
We always glad.
Now wait a minute. Let me tell y'all. I just found this out from a vacation. She hides money. She stashes money. Wait a minute. She got like a backup to her backup stash because she know I probably go dip in it and probably get some tickets or something or go gamble real quick. So I find this out. We go. She got a whole nother stash, which is good, mind you, because like how you say. I mean, I'm free with money. I know it's gonna be here.
It
I don't.
burns in his pocket.
Yeah, it do.
It
It's
burns in his pocket.
boy, look at her. See, but that's one of the good things about it, because she real tight with it, and she'll reel me in like, no, you don't need this riding lawnmower. Our yard is not that big. So,
Delvin, how did you handle finding out that she had another stash to her stash?
oh, I
And
wouldn't.
I'm asking that because that could be a serious thing for some people, taking it as getting offended by, but I don't know how you're talking about it.
Yeah,
It seems
it's
like
see, I
almost
He
know,
be
I know
excited.
how I know how I am. I know how I am. I like to buy shoes and clothes, and I got a couple other vices that I like. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
He
I'm
already knows it. He expects it.
yeah. So that'd be more money I can just take from her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go back.
We're
Let me
gonna try
go
to
back.
split it too.
I
When y'all
love it.
met on Facebook, how long before you guys actually saw each other in person? And was it difficult to meet someone on Facebook? Because social media, people could put on any kind of facade and be whoever they want to be nowadays on social media. Was that difficult meeting someone on social media nowadays?
Now because because for me I just wasn't afraid of that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I probably have been meeting people since Black Planet, so it just wasn't a big it wasn't a big deal to me.
Okay.
And like I said, we started out just having fun. We started out we probably met each other the first week. We was like, come on, let's play some
Yeah,
dominoes and
yeah, it was
stuff.
dominoes.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
like
so
come
we
on over,
and
bring some
dominoes.
dominoes.
So
Right.
and it was just like when we met, and it was just like boom, because we could we realized we could just kind of, because
See, because she talk a lot of noise. She talk a
yeah.
lot of,
I'm a
she talk,
Kansas City chick,
she
so we
talk a
kind of
lot.
mouthy.
So she was,
And he wasn't sensitive. He could come back at me, and we would laugh. And so I like that. I was like, okay, you can handle me. So
I done met my crazy.
yeah, I done met my crazy.
that's what it
And
was.
so he just then after that he just wouldn't let me leave anymore, pretty much. So
Yeah, that's true. I used to tell her, "Hey, where you at? I'm on the way back to Dallas. Well, just come on, turn back around. Just
Yeah.
come chill
And
with
that's,
me."
oh my God, it's that friendship,
Right.
that friendship, like when you can just enjoy being around the person, like we just enjoy kicking it. And
Yeah,
I always say, I
we
know
did.
that is
We just
one
drive
thing that,
around the city.
yeah,
hmm
that kept us. Like we had a friendship. Like this was my dog. This was like yeah, we kicking it together. And
we
Yep.
watch our
so
games together. Our sport, we like both
Yeah.
like sports and
Yeah.
everything.
Yep,
So
yep. All the sports I like, she like. A lot of times, sometimes I got to tell, okay, just the partners coming over. You can't chill today. You got to go, so you can't chill today. But I wouldn't mind.
yeah.
I
yeah.
just wouldn't mind because she's done it before. Don't get me wrong, and
Hmm.
just integrated right in. Trash talking with some of best friends playing dominoes or something. So I mean, she could do it, but sometimes gone.
Yeah, I don't want to be bothered anyway.
Okay, so y'all are tuned in to the Couples Lounge show. We have Delvin and Kim talking about their unconventional type of love.
And let me full disclosure, my wife is over here tripping at me because I'm leaning back. I just had surgery Thursday. I tore my
Oh yeah, I saw
meniscus.
that.
My knee swelled up. I got the elevation when I'm leaning back because I'm hurt. Like God dog it, baby. I'm hurting. So if you see me lean back, I ain't trying to be I'm in a little pain right now. Go ahead.
so y'all mentioned that y'all had some outside interferences in your I'm assuming in your marriage. So let's talk. That was so nicely put. Ice outside interferences. What are we talking about here? Let's get clarity.
Well, I wouldn't say no. It was before we got married. It was
Okay.
mostly like in the beginning of our relationship. Like I think I had friends that kind of quit talking to me because it was, you shouldn't be. I guess they felt like I was moving too fast, moving, my daughter, and then his family they didn't know me, and now I done came. I lost my job. I don't work. That's all.
Oh
That was a big issue. Everybody thought I was living. I just gonna live off of him. But the thing I think that kept us is like, because that bothered me because I had never been in that type of position where people was looking at me like, you don't work, you don't do nothing. I'm like, what? That ain't who I am. And he was like, this girl got a college degree. I was working for Child Protective Services when he met me. He was like, she's not gonna just
Yeah,
live
I
off of
wasn't
me.
worried because the character of somebody that you chilling with,
Yeah, so
so I
yeah.
wasn't worried about that at all. I mean, everybody got,
It was just
chapters.
orchestrated that way for
Yeah.
me to be at home with Reagan because that's all. And for me to learn some things, like because I had to be at this point, I had to be pretty much completely dependent on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I try, and I used to be that Holly homemaker, cooking, having dinner ready, clean, just Holly, just every boy, look, oh my God.
Devin, why you look at her like that when she said I had to be completely dependent on him? Why you look like that?
I was telling her in her earlier, you was just submissive then.
Yeah.
She not
Oh,
like, see, I mess with her all the time. Now I said, you know what? We need to go back to 2014, back to when you used to listen and cook, and stuff like that. Now she want to have an opinion on everything, and and I'm
Yeah,
just
I
glad
mean,
of that.
I kind of maybe with a little extra docile to where, because I was just trying it out. And I realized I don't think he didn't like me like that, though. That's what I say when I was just doing whatever he asked me to do, when he asked me
mm,
to do it. I was like, I didn't feel like he really liked me like that. So I was like, I'm going to be myself. I don't have time for this. And and plus I started working. So I really couldn't be Holly homemaker, that same person anymore. And so I just kind of started coming
Sugar
back to
apple.
my own
And
character.
I
Sugar
think that
apple.
is beautiful that you show. I mean, I'm gonna say this: that we need to be ourselves in our relationships. That way, people can fall in love with
With
the true
yes,
self
yes.
versus you putting on a front. And I don't really like doing this, but I'm gonna do it. And then once we get married, and that true you start to appear, now people questioning
It
like,
took about
if you
60
done
months for her
changed,
real true to
then
come out.
like let them fall in love with the person that you actually are. I was having a conversation with a group of ladies, and we were talking about like where some of the wives they do cook. Some of the wives was like, I don't cook, and my husband is good with that. My husband is the cook, and it's just important to do what works for
Yeah,
your household. You know,
yeah.
as long as you are in alignment with God and the orchestrated plan of that, where it's God, husband, wife, and kids. But Kim, as y'all was just talking, you how old were your daughters when you moved in with Delvin, and was there any reluctancy there? Because I got girls, and I
Mhm.
just met this man. That was 6 months into y'all relationship that you moved, packed up, and I'm
Mhm.
hearing what you're saying. The outside interferences
Mama.
were you ever like, how I'm gonna
And,
navigate this to make sure that he good and my
Yeah.
girls are
well,
protected?
I had been spending a lot of time around him and his children. And so, and his, I mean, when I first met him, we kept a house full of kids. His nieces, nephews, everybody
Was
would be at
all
our
right. They
house.
fine.
Yeah. And so I got to see how he was with children. I saw, he didn't get up when the nieces was over. He didn't get up in the middle of the night going nowhere, things like that. So I knew. And so, my daughter was old enough, and it was just a better transition for her. And I'm glad I did, because they have such a great relationship. So my daughter loves him. So I'm glad I did. So I made, like I said, again, I made the right choice. So, but it was like I said, because I had a friend in my ear telling me that was wrong. My mama
Her
wasn't too
mama, her mama
sure
really didn't know either.
because my older daughter that was an adult, now that was really more the issue. But luckily she was an adult, so she didn't have to come live with us. So that was just it wasn't that difficult, because like I said, I was before my daughter came, I'd been around him and his children and nieces and nephews for months.
Yep.
So Devin, for you becoming the man of the house, was this both of y'all's first marriage?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, so becoming the man of the house at what, 36?
Something like that, yeah.
36,
36 at the time.
5 kids. Talk to us about that and understanding what you were being called to do.
Well, you know what? It wasn't really nothing foreign to me because I was in a long term relationship 10, 12 years before.
Mhm.
And it was we just weren't married. That was the only thing. We lived, as married, but we didn't. So when we finally did get married and just living together and everything, I mean it just felt right. I don't know if I articulated that, really well, but it just, it felt right as far as, even our kids coming together, because we had, I her youngest and my oldest, they about the same age, a year different. So they went to high school together,
Oh, okay.
and up there in North Crowley. So I mean, everything just worked out. I mean, I even, I didn't even know that they were
As close as they
as
were.
close as they were until like
Yeah.
after high school and everything. And no, when I went up there, it was they was brother and sister there. So I mean, it was a shock, but I was happy too. I was like, oh, okay, that's good. Y'all got a relationship. And then we found, they hiding secrets from us, just like a real brother and sister. That find
Mhm.
out. So you know, it felt right. It wasn't like nothing felt like let me not think about this because I knew the character that she had. She loved my daughter. My two other kids. And everything. So I mean, it just wasn't anything that I had second thoughts of. which like I say, I'm like how she say, I'm glad too. I'm glad too.
Getting married blessed us. Once we went
Yes,
from living
I
together,
swear it did.
it's like all of a sudden people used to say, getting married is different, and
Yep.
getting married is different. It immediately was a shift, and
Mm-hmm.
we started getting
I was
blessed
just gonna say
more.
that's when
Yeah,
we started getting our
we
blessings,
did.
like
It just
really for real. Like when we got
everything
married.
started falling in place,
Yep.
and I was
Right.
like, the pastor was right. So
Oh my God, I'm so glad that y'all just said that because
Right.
people wonder, like, what difference does it make? Like, I can just be with them and, like Devin, you said, be in that long term relationship for 12 years. Why do I have to get married? It is a shift that happens
yes.
once you go under that covenant
Right.
Mhm.
of God. And like you said, we started being blessed
Hmm.
after our marriage. Your blessings started coming in. So
Right.
what was some blessings that y'all saw that started happening? Because y'all been married 3.5 years.
So
So
just it was a lot of stuff from
Promotions.
promotions with jobs,
I swear, money.
windfalls of money. Money was, I mean, it got to so it was so good to us where like having real money in the bank. Like during COVID, it got to a point where like we were feeling guilty. Have you ever heard of survivor's remorse?
Yeah.
You
I
know,
have.
we were feeling that,
Mhm.
doing it was all of these people
And,
going through all of this and losing
and
their
we was
jobs
happy.
and we were spending thousands at the casino.
Yeah, we was
You know,
blessed, and we was had peace within each other. Because
yeah.
first of all, we're homebodies, so being at home with each other did not change anything for us. We just started
I couldn't
enjoying.
understand that people
Yeah.
breaking up. I was like, what were they doing before?
Right.
I couldn't
So
understand that.
So we just it was just a piece with us. Like we could, we could start. It's like we started really making solid plans in our head,
Yep.
for where we was going in life, and that also brought to, I feel like it maybe gave God some focus on what He needed to give us and the direction,
Mm,
the guidance,
mm.
like that. And so it's just that's how
Yep,
it really
that's
was with
yep. And
us.
like our biggest thing was like, our house that we purchased. I mean, we had so many we had so many specifications that we wanted with our house,
Right.
what we didn't want, what we wasn't willing to even negotiate. Well, do y'all wanna like now this is gonna be forever home. This is what we want. And once we were actually able to even think about doing it and getting it and then when
Because
it was a rush.
Because
It was
my realtor
exhilarating.
knows me personally. She wouldn't even talk to me until she knew I wouldn't even think about it until I was married. So as soon as married, she called me. You ready? I was like, well, yeah, I guess I should be, huh?
Your
So
house.
Right.
yes. So
And they got
she
a beautiful home, big
Okay.
old swimming pool. Yeah,
so
I've been to the crib a few times, watched fight with my boy.
That's my boy. That's
Beautiful
my
crib.
boy. My
yeah,
big
And
so
I
bro.
love
she
that. So
didn't
y'all,
even
if y'all just tuning in, they got married in 2018 in December. So the end of that year. So they were only married about a year and some change when COVID hit.
Let me
So
ask this:
Yep.
with a blended family, I'm hearing all of this, and it sounds amazing.
yeah, blended family is a big
But
one.
let me switch it up a little bit. Damn it, y'all telling me there was no trouble in blending this family together. Y'all didn't have to overcome no
Oh no, that's not true.
hardships. Y'all was blessed to okay. When we blended, it was good from the get go.
Or if, and just for time's sake, if y'all could give people, because blending a family is a major deal.
Absolutely.
So what advice would you all
Well,
give someone that is blending a family?
Oh, also, let me ask this. I'm gonna throw this in there. Let's say a couple is dating, they got a blended family. He has a child, they both have children. But one of them, their child is not respecting that woman or that husband. How do they work on that? How can they get together to where there is peace and harmony? Because I'm sure it happens. You can
Yeah.
date someone and that child is not respectful to that man because of her dad or to that woman because of her mom. Do y'all have any advice for any couple that's dealing with that?
Well, it could like as far as like what you talking about, Bo. It depends. Like,
Wait,
it,
who is Bo?
I
I'm
mean,
sorry. Who is Bo?
Ramon, Ramon,
Okay, I'm
Ramon,
sorry. Go ahead.
Ramon. So as far as like what you were saying, saying about that, it's different. It's okay if in that situation is that really a child? Are they like, are they?
Because
Oh,
mind you, my children were older. So my oldest child was 22, and that was probably
I would
Let's
say
say a teenager.
I would say that's
A
probably
teenager.
because
teenager,
little
yeah.
kids you
It
can
could
kind
easily,
of
yeah,
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 mold
yeah.
them, but let's say the
It's a
kid,
teenager.
yeah, 12
we
and up.
see we didn't really deal with that because see he's such a strong,
yeah, I'm a yeah, I'm a
disciplinarian.
yeah, I'm gonna
Like
play that.
I didn't deal with his children being disrespectful to me. Maybe, if I maybe not doing something when I say it and then I have to tell, I tell them later on. I think maybe more of our conflict may have been more of conflicts within the kids that, that if they didn't get along or something, then that, there were times where maybe we were at odds because, you try to, everybody has the nature to defend their own child.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
And so that would probably say within that would probably be one of our maybe toughest things. So but our thing is well, for me, like I used to always tell him, my children were older. So and I think that maybe I would be more so I'd be like, look, this is the way we need to handle it. And then he wouldn't want to handle it that way. So that would be kind of challenging because I just felt like, I've raised this, I've seen this before. And so that has its pros and cons because that made me feel like sometimes I knew better when he just simply didn't agree and was not going to agree. And
Hmm.
then, but kids grow up. So as they got older, sometimes he would see a lot of stuff I would be saying is right. He's had
Oh,
to tell me
okay.
I'm right a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
because I'll be like, look, this might be a challenge now, but after a while, these because my children are 8 years apart, so I'd already seen different stages
Right,
of
right,
children. So, and I'm saying, you just keep on. This is going to change. This is going to change. This is going to change, especially with girls.
right.
Because I'm like, I know girls if I don't know anything else.
Yeah,
I was one.
she said that because
And
I had like a little situation. Remind, I mean, you know about my kids and everything. You know where my oldest daughter, she's 18. Now she's back in my life, like 100% fold, and like it was for a while there. I was just always like, man, my baby, she don't love, she ain't gonna care about me no more. And she was always telling me, that's a little girl. You give her a year, give her a little time.
yeah,
And now, sure enough, she called me every day, daddy this, daddy that, and like we had a heart to heart, and she was just like, daddy, I just missed you
I
so
told him that.
much. And
14 through 17,
I didn't
they
see it
don't like
happen.
nobody. Girls don't like anybody. So I'm like, you can't keep taking everything so
So
personal. I say,
personal.
yeah, they're angry. They don't like discipline. They mad at you for not for discipline. And I said, but once they become an adult, I said that's gonna all gonna change. I said it happens with every child. I said because that's when they really need you when they're a young adult. I
Yeah.
said, and they
Absolutely.
don't know that when they're a teenager. I said they
No,
get that mindset where they think they're grown but they're not. And so I
absolutely.
said, because I said it's not just towards the daddy, it's mama gets it too.
Yeah.
So I said, don't worry about it. It's going to come back around as soon as they become an adult. I said, just like with me and my father and our conflicts. I said, because your parents, I said, because children can't live without their parents.
Yeah.
I said, it's usually the kid that calls first.
Yeah.
Once they're mad, because
Yeah.
I was like, just my opinion, my children, I know they love me even when they're mad. Mad kids just save me money because they don't ask me for nothing.
Hey, that's a saying. Word.
Right.
Mad
Delvin,
children.
I want you to talk about that discipline. You said I don't play that
Yeah.
when it comes to, I guess, like them disrespect your
Right.
kids
Yeah,
Oh
disrespecting
my
right.
God.
her.
Right.
Talk about that. Like as a father, and I mean, as the man of the house, you leading the house. So the standard that you put in place for
Right.
all the kids is what matters.
Right.
So what was the standard that you maybe unconsciously or consciously put in place for this blended family as the head?
Well, one of the biggest things was like respect, like how you was just getting at, Candace. I don't I don't I don't deal good with being disrespected, especially when by somebody who wearing all the clothes and shoes I done put on your feet, you know. So I grew up old school. My stepdad, he was an old man. So, I mean, I took a lot of that old man mentality probably, as far as, sparing the rod, spoiling the child. You know what I mean? I don't, that's just me. I know these days it's a big deal about, whooping kids, and all of that, but with me, it was known in my house that, my kids don't even want to, they wouldn't even tell me right now if they got kicked out the house and on the streets because they don't want to come up under my rules. It's rules that you're gonna have to abide by in my house. I don't care if you 20 or 30, you know, my oldest daughter, her daughter, I called her my oldest daughter, Kanice. She won't live here because she knows she go out to wash dishes and clean up the restroom or something. Kids they don't want to. When you get at that age, you don't want to be told what to do.
And they
You
have
want
to have rules here.
yeah, you have to have rules here.
They know how we are.
And that was a big thing. I never too much had that problem other than just regular teenage stuff. Um, I never had to deal with that because my hand is so strict, and it's been like that since that's all they knew. And then when her daughter came in the fold, it was just like probably something she probably needed. She didn't have a father figure around, nobody that was like me, rather. So, I took that on myself to just include her in the tribe. You know what I mean? And it was good that, like, I know my end. I never had no baby daddy problems. With Kani's daddy or her oldest daddy, nothing like that. That was never nothing I had a problem with. I mean, even if the guy want come see my daughter, come see her or something like that. I would never be like, you don't need to see that. He don't do nothing for you. I would never be like that because I don't know how that man feel about his daughter. Even though
Yeah.
I just don't know. So I would never be that type. But I never had that now. She
So
Okay.
might.
okay, I got another question. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, somebody asked, is there any issues with your kids' mothers and Kim?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody posted that
Well,
in there.
Is that too much to talk about right now?
I mean, you know what I'm saying. We've had our issues, but yeah, we've had our issues.
They sorority sisters now.
Yeah, that's my soror now. So
They
I
take pictures and everything
oh,
together. We
Lord.
make friends.
But we good. I mean, I'm not. I could see. I grew up where everybody got along. Like my mother could be with my stepmother. Like they would come
Yeah,
if we
I
was
saw
all
that.
together.
That's a beautiful
It
system
would
right there.
be. That's how I grew. That's what I know. That's what I'm used
Mhm.
to. So it would so yeah, we had our challenges because that other person wasn't like that, wasn't the type of person that was gonna talk to me and sit down with me and say, hey, with the kids and everything, it was just, and then they had such a combative relationship. And I'm like, y'all been arguing since, the 1999. I'm not gonna get in that. I'm gonna let y'all have y'all arguments.
Yeah.
Now with my children's father, we didn't have to deal with it because I'm one of them type. If you don't do right by my kids, I don't talk to you. So I don't even speak to them. Truth be told, that's me. They'll speak to me, but I won't speak to them. So because now I never did that. Now when my daughter was a minor, like if her dad called or whatever, like it was never a block. He could come and see her. He could do whatever. He just chose not to. And then once she turned 18, I said, okay, once they turn 18, I don't speak to them no more. So they never have that issue because I just don't have them around.
And
But
I love hearing that, Kim, that you grew up in a blended family and it was good where y'all the system was good where it was no animosity with the
mm,
steps or whatever, and so you were able to bring that mindset into y'all situation and know that it can work and know how it can look, even though maybe the other parents were not vibing with it. You still had the foundation to know, I know this system can work, I know we can get along if we just do this or we just do that.
Right.
And so I guess my last question with you already had a
No,
question.
no, go ahead.
I want you. I just want to ask this? Did y'all sit down with your kids when once you realized that this was about to be a serious relationship? Did y'all sit down and have a conversation with your kids like this is about to happen? Definitely, Kim, like you said, you kind of been running your thing, but we're about to merge a family together. And I'm asking that because I don't the level of conflict that you hear between people bringing families together, I don't think people are sitting down with the kids and they just throwing the kids into these situations, and the kids is like, well, what about my mama? Like, just make you. I'm forcing this person into your life. So, did y'all sit down and have a conversation with your individual kids when you realized that y'all were going into something serious?
Nah, in our situation, I get what you're saying on that, Candace. But like in our situation, personally, we didn't have to sit down and have a family meeting or anything like that. It was more or less just
My
carrying
daughter would
on.
be devastated if we broke up. If
Oh my
any thoughts,
God,
I
yeah.
think I called one time and I was like, "Oh, I got some bad news," and it was something off. And she's like, "Please tell me y'all are not splitting up." And I was like, "Where do you get that from? That's not what I said. That's what. Where did you? I mean, so with our kids, I think I don't know. I think that I don't know. I don't know. They just we
Now,
didn't. But
if
we
we had to have if we had a situation where it calls for that, like it is outside interference that we would have had to have sit down and be like, okay, this is what's going on. Forget what your mama say or your daddy say. This is what's happening in this house.
So
We would.
y'all families just merged effortlessly for the
Yeah,
most,
yeah,
pretty much. Okay, that's
yeah.
all.
Okay.
We lucked up.
Okay.
All right, before we wrap this up, I got some quick hitters for you. I want you to just tell me first thing come to mind. Just point to that person. Most romantic.
Me.
Do you agree with that, Kim?
hmm
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask who's the spender because I guess we already know who that is. That's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Mhm.
Best domino player since y'all play dominoes.
I give her that. I'm gonna give her that in front of everybody. In front of everybody, I'm gonna give her that.
Whoa! Now that's
Big
big.
ups to you. You didn't downplay your
Mhm.
wife.
Whoa!
I
Yes,
didn't, I
big
didn't,
ups.
I didn't
Whoa!
want to, but I'm gonna give it up. She do.
Okay then. Oh wow. Best cook. Who cooks the best?
Him.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
5-star
Who's
chef.
the who's the one to say who will be the first person to say I'm sorry after an argument?
Oh, me.
Yeah. Him. It's not a quite. I'm sorry. It'll be just
Her.
An acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She know what it means.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got our
You
love
want to go
language.
get something to eat?
If the kids have an issue, who's the first person they coming to? No matter which child.
Me.
Him.
Me. See, because she'll say no. They know it's a chance that I might be like, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
See,
They
that's
like.
the thing with me. She probably gonna say no. The
Yep.
kids know. Like, Daddy might say no, but he probably say yes
We're
quicker
Yep,
than
that's
I.
what it
buying
is.
some. Yeah.
All right, who's the neatest?
Oh, me.
No, I don't agree. Me.
Now, let's be honest now.
I think we both have our different strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
No, I'm not. No.
In the
I
neatness category.
Who was the first person that said I love you?
Me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Last one. Who's the best kisser?
me. You don't even like the kiss.
See, that's not a fair question because I don't. I really don't. I don't like.
Okay.
I don't like
Okay.
swapping spits. But
I just love how y'all are still new in it,
She's
and
the best domino player.
y'all are
Wow.
able
I'm gonna
to
house out on you later for that, D. I ain't
I
gonna
know
lie.
it. I know it.
just
let me
to
say it
be
to
able
you,
to
too.
accept, like you said, she don't even like the kids. I don't like the kids, but I do. Like, I love it. I love that you all are able to accept the strengths as well as the
Matter of
weaknesses,
fact,
and
I'm about to
still
text everybody.
being able
Daddy
to
said his wife is a better domino player.
being
Oh,
willing to just to be in it. I definitely, when you talked about the money situation and finding out that she had that, but then you looked at that like, yeah, that's good, you got that. And Kim, you letting them know I got this. I like, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. I just think the more I know, the more that y'all said teamwork is y'all's that's what y'all do well. Wait. I know y'all, we're gonna go over just a little bit, but I wanted y'all to talk about this where y'all was saying the y'all biggest strength is the power of the tongue. Speak on that just a little bit.
I think I always tell him that. It's like every time whatever we say, it's like we keep saying it. We speak it into existence. Even from the very beginning, the things that we talked about, we keep
everything we've said we wanted to obtain, we've got it at this point.
Yeah,
you know.
And I've told him before. I think one time before. I believe a lot of that has to do with. I think one time we was doing something, talking about something, and he just like dropped down and prayed one time. And I told him I believe that prayer was like the catalyst to
I remember that.
building everything that I don't know what he said. It wasn't loud. It was just he just did it right there. And I tell him I was like, I believe that was a catalyst. I don't know what he said, but I believe that just started getting built up on. And now when we say stuff, we know eventually, it's gonna come to fruition because just the power of our tongue, everything we speak. Even me telling him from the very beginning, we getting married and I'm getting your insurance when we wasn't even thinking about being boyfriend and girlfriend yet. So it's what you have, what you say.
Yeah, and shout out to my boy Ramon over there too. I've come to him seriously before. We've had some real serious talks, so I appreciate the counseling that you got and stuff that you told me. It been 100% dead on, big bro. So I appreciate you.
Awesome. And so as we do our somebody should have told me moment, which is just a highlight of the show, I would say the highlight and what I would like to point out that the Davises said is that when you get married, it will shift.
Yep.
The blessings will come because of the covenant that you have now entered into, and the power of a praying husband. We talk about the power of a praying wife, but it's a power in a praying husband as well, and how they are able to manifest the things that they desire because of the power of their tongue.
Oh my God, you said that so good. That's exactly what I've been trying to say.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You guys, somebody should have told me.
No, that was it right there. Because I promise you, I was gonna go there. That was exactly what I was gonna say. Also, man, she a better domino player, man.
That's
like wow.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
You ain't gonna never let that one down.
See, this is why men can't confess, because you got people, other men, that want to come and they bash you. Stand in your truth. Devin, that's all right. Stand in your truth.
All right.
Don't ever try to see me on the domino table.
That don't mean you ain't no great domino player.
Go get your wife.
I let her take a couple every now and then to fill her head up, and but she all right. She all right.
Say, man, when we go do the couples bowling, y'all need to come next time, man.
We there, man. I enjoyed this. I was kind of nervous.
He said that.
Okay. So thank y'all for coming on and being a blessing to those that are in the process of dating and moving to marriage.
Absolutely.
And for those that are married, thank y'all for sharing your story, your challenges, the things that you have overcome, and just using your marriage as a ministry as it is.
Definitely. Thank you for having us.
As it is. So thank y'all so much. And y'all enjoy your day. And y'all, we know, I can tell by what y'all are talking. It has been saying in the chat, it has been a blessing for people.
It has been.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank y'all for having us. Y'all have a good rest of the day. All right.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Ramon.